What exactly happened in that courtroom? Well, it's not pretty. Cameron didn't just dish out some gossip. He dropped a bombshell that could end careers. Jim Jones has always been associated with controversy, but now the infamous rapper with a history of shady dealings is facing serious consequences. All thanks to a jaw-dropping revelation about his relationship with Chrissy Lumpkin. Hold on, did Cameron really just spill the beans on Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamin in court? Yes, you heard that right. It's no secret that the hip-hop industry is full of drama, betrayal, and messy love affairs. But what Cameron just revealed in that courtroom takes things to a whole new level. Let's break this down. Jim Jones, the rapper who has always been all about that street life, that gangster mentality, is now facing some serious heat. Will they somehow manage to slither out of this one as they always do? Stay tuned, because you won't believe what Cameron exposes next. Left in complete shock for those of you who might have missed it, let's go back a little. Jim Jones and Cameron were once the dynamic duo of the rap game. But as we all know, even the strongest partnerships have their breaking points. And that's where Chrissy Lamin comes into play. Don't get it twisted. Chrissy Lamin isn't just Jim Jones's partner in crime. She's been at the center of multiple controversies, and her name has brought attention to the courtroom. Been involved in the drama from the beginning. But when Cameron dropped that bombshell in court, it wasn't just about Jim Jones. Rather, it was about revealing the web of lies and deceit that had been simmering beneath the surface for years. Was Chrissy Lamin merely Jim Jones's supportive girlfriend? Or was there something much darker going on behind closed doors? Cameron simply responded to that question in the most explosive way possible, and the allegations are far worse than anyone could have predicted. However, before we get into all of that, let's take a look at the history of all this madness. Cameron is now asking, what if this entire image has been a front? He's built his career on controversy and street credibility. You don't get to the top by being clean-cut and following the rules. Chrissy Lamin, on the other hand, has been by his side through it all, creating her own legacy. She's best known for her role on Love and Hip Hop, where the cameras couldn't stop capturing her ride-or-die attitude. But is that really what it is? Or is there something darker and more sinister lurking in the background? After years of silence, Cameron finally decides to come clean. According to anonymous sources, Cameron wasn't holding back when he took the stand. The first bombshell, which no one saw coming, is that Cameron apparently had access to Jim Jones's private correspondence with Chrissy Lamin, and what he discovered was nothing short of shocking. In one of his statements, Cameron disclosed that Chrissy Lamin had been deeply involved in some dubious activities during the height of Jim Jones's career. Destroy their public image. We're talking about money laundering, legal activities, secret meetings with shady people, name it. But it's not just about what they did. What's really scandalous is how they've managed to hide it for all these years. That's the part Cameron just blew open. You see, Jim Jones has always kept his business dealings private. He's made millions of dollars and kept his nose clean in the public eye. But behind the scenes, there's been a whole other world of dealings. Cameron claims to have the receipts. And what he revealed in that courtroom was enough to make even the most ardent fans rethink everything they believed they knew about Jim Jones. The things that Cameron revealed will keep you up at night. We're talking about high-stakes money games, covert alliances, and betrayals that go deeper than anyone could have imagined. Chrissy Lamin, who has always been the devoted girlfriend on the surface, turns out to be much more involved in Jim Jones's shady activities than we ever imagined. The revelations keep coming, and Cameron isn't finished yet. Let's also not forget how Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamin have always attempted to maintain their image. They've always been presented as a loving, united couple, right? Well, according to Cameron, it's all been a show. The mastermind behind much of the drama has been pulling strings from behind the scenes, and Cameron simply pulled the curtain back on it all. So what exactly did Cameron reveal in court? Was it Jim Jones who was pulling strings the entire time? Or was it Chrissy Lamin? Cameron said that the entire relationship has been built on a shaky foundation of lies, manipulation, and shady deals. The public was shocked as the scandal started to unfold. But what was Jim Jones's reaction? Was he prepared to fight back, or did he know it was over? Additionally, how does Chrissy Lumpkin fit into all of this? Everyone wants answers, and believe me, it's only going to get crazier from here. However, hold on, because things are about to get even crazier. Cameron isn't the only one with dirt, and as the investigation continues, more leaks are beginning to surface. This scandal is just getting started, and in the next section, we'll reveal the shocking details of how Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkin willed this whole mess. Stay tuned, because it's far from over. Now that we've set the scene and introduced the players, it's time to reveal the core of the scandal, the full scope of what Cameron just revealed in that courtroom. And let me tell you, this isn't your typical celebrity feud. This is the kind of drama that makes you reevaluate everything you believe. You know about the people you've been watching for years. We all know that Jim Jones and Cameron have had problems, but the tension was evident when Cameron entered the courtroom. This wasn't just a case of two old friends sharing personal secrets. Rather, it was about revealing years of deceit and manipulation that could lead to Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkin's downfall. When I say shady, I mean outright criminal activity. Let's examine what Cameron disclosed, because you won't believe the amount of dirt he's been sitting on. For those who don't know, Jim Jones has long been a figure in the rap game, known for his association with Dipset and his close ties to street culture. But Cameron also disclosed that Jim Jones was not only running a rap career, but also a business hand. This business wasn't the kind of business you'd want the public to know about. According to Cameron, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkin were heavily involved in a multi-state money laundering scheme. They weren't just living the high life on the money of the music industry. Rather, they were transferring money through shell companies that created fictitious businesses to conceal the real source of their wealth. And guess who was right there with him? Chrissy Lumpkin, the woman who's built a career as the devoted, helpful girlfriend and was allegedly the mastermind behind this entire operation. The way she pulled the strings behind the scenes would make anyone wonder how much we really know about our favorite reality TV stars. The money laundering wasn't just a few shady deals here and there, though. Cameron revealed receipts that showed Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkin were laundering millions of dollars by channeling money through luxury goods and phony companies in real estate. The most shocking part is that they were able to keep it hidden for so long. However, that's not all. Although Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkin have been portrayed in the headlines as the power couple, there was always something wrong behind those glossy smiles and the ride or die narrative. Now, thanks to Cameron's testimony in court, we're beginning to see the truth. Cameron claims that Chrissy Lumpkin was right there with him, attending these meetings and helping to broker deals. However, the level of corruption and dangerous liaisons they were involved in makes you wonder just how deep this scandal really runs. We're talking about wire transfers, offshore accounts, and tax evasion that dates back years, the report showed. How Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkin would transfer millions of dollars through dummy corporations and foreign bank accounts. But it gets worse. It seems that they weren't just keeping the money hidden from the government. They were also keeping it hidden from the public and team, keeping affiliated individuals in the dark to prevent any potential leaks. In fact, anonymous sources within their camp claimed that Jim Jones and Chrissy Lumpkin were notorious for using intimidation tactics to keep people when the world was shocked by the eye-popping courtroom bombshells. Fans who had loved Jim Jones for years began to question everything. What had appeared to be a carefully constructed image of a successful rapper and his loyal girlfriend was beginning to look like a house of cards. Cameron just blew it all to pieces. Quietly, Cameron revealed the names of people who were allegedly threatened by Jim Jones and his inner circle. It's now evident that the empire they built wasn't based on talent alone, but rather on secrecy, manipulation, and fear. Those in the industry, including other rappers, producers, and insiders, were beginning to voice their voices as well. Some were quick to defend Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin, saying that Cameron was merely resentful and seeking retribution. But others, particularly those who were familiar with the underground of hip-hop, were quick to believe the allegations because the evidence was there. Cameron wasn't just talking. He had proof, and once that went viral, there was no turning back. One of the most startling responses came from Chrissy Elkin herself, in a statement that sent shockwaves through the industry. The media, she denied the accusations and accused Cameron of attempting to ruin her and Jim Jones's legacy. However, what caught people off guard was the tone of her response, which came across as cold and defensive rather than heartfelt. "We can't say for sure, but the lack of transparency was undoubtedly concerning. Now that the world is aware of what Cameron revealed in court, the legal repercussions are only just starting to unfold." Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have already been hit with numerous lawsuits. There are rumors of money laundering charges, conspiracy, and even the pressure is already affecting their personal and professional lives. Jim Jones has already been spotted publicly separating from Chrissy Lampkin, which has sparked rumors about their future together. Will they remain together, or is this the beginning of the end for Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin? The worst part is that if the feds truly look into this, there could be severe repercussions, including jail time, millions in fines, and public shame. As the dust settles, the fallout from Cameron's shocking testimony continues to reverberate through the media, the streets, and the lives of Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin. The consequences are far-reaching, and we're only beginning to unpack how this scandal will reshape their futures. However, there's still so much more to unpack, so let's dive into the potential fallout from all of this. From the media to legal action, the drama is just heating up. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss what comes next. Long-term effects and the severe repercussions they currently face to begin. Let's discuss the legal repercussions that Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin had to deal with after Cameron's revelations. Legal experts have stated that the money laundering charges alone could result in decades of prison time if found guilty. This isn't just a small legal matter that they can ignore. Rather, it's the kind of case that sends people to federal prison. If the feds begin looking into the underworld connections Cameron mentioned, we're talking about charges of racketeering and organized crime. The investigation into Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin has now expanded across several states and authorities are examining bank accounts, real estate transactions, and business dealings that may connect them to larger criminal enterprises. Cameron's testimony has effectively opened a floodgate of scrutiny from luxury real estate holdings to offshore accounts. The more the authorities dig, the more they're going to uncover, which could result in some serious criminal charges. Clock is ticking, and the walls are closing in. Let's move on to the public backlash. As a celebrity, everything you do is scrutinized. And when something like this happens to a fan, you can't just hide behind a quick apology or a publicist's statement. The damage is done. The Tunner, Jim Jones exposed, hashtag went viral on social media, and memes are already all over the internet. We've all seen the jokes, the commentary, the public shame that follows a celebrity's downfall. But the real problem here is the long-term harm to their brands. Love hip-hop. But Cameron completely destroyed that image. Fans who once loved them are now doubting everything they believed. And let's not even talk about the rappers and celebrities who are now avoiding them. Those who once praised them as role models or inspirations are now quiet, and some are even turning away because of this scandal. And you know how it goes. The more the public sees other celebrities avoiding them, the more difficult it is for Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin to restore their reputations. It's a vicious cycle of shame, alienation, and irrelevance. Then there's the effect on their personal lives. After Cameron dropped those bombshells in court, the relationship between Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin is now under intense scrutiny. The once strong public image of them as a couple who have stuck together through thick and thin is now called into question. with rumors circulating about infidelity, manipulation, and money issues. Fans are beginning to wonder if this is the end of Jim and Chrissy. The truth is that their relationship may never fully recover from this scandal. The private drama is now public, and that's something they'll find difficult to move past, whether they survive as a couple or not. One thing is for certain, this scandal has altered their relationship's dynamics, and things will only get worse from here. However, it goes beyond personal relationships and public perception. The financial fallout will be significant. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamon were once the epitome of wealthy, successful celebrities, living in luxury with private jets and real estate deals. However, their financial world is now in jeopardy due to the money laundering and other alleged criminal activities that Cameron revealed. Their assets are being frozen, and there's a very real chance that they could declare bankruptcy. If the federal investigation results in convictions, these aren't merely small fines. This isn't the Hollywood dream they were living before. Instead, it's a nightmare that could destroy everything they've built over the years. In addition, Cameron's testimony has already entered the mainstream media, with some outlets calling it the scandal of the decade and others stating that it could be the end of Jim Jones and Company. If this case goes to trial and they are found guilty, the financial consequences could be so severe that they will have to sell off their assets, including their homes, businesses, and even their luxury cars. The media will continue to follow Chrissy Teigen's career as the legal battles progress. And believe me when I say that the more publicity they receive, the more they will be dragged through the mud. They will have to stand before a public trial by fire where every aspect of their lives will be scrutinized and dissected. Now, let's discuss what will happen next. Will Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamon be able to save their careers and personal lives? Or is this the end of their rise to fame? Cameron's testimony has already changed the rules, and it's difficult to imagine a scenario in which they escape this unscathed. The best they can hope for is a lesser sentence in the court of Condine. Of public, as we conclude this investigation, one thing is certain. Cameron did not just reveal a few shady secrets. He started a series of events that could cause fans to reevaluate their allegiance, celebrities to question their actions, and even the media to reevaluate how they portray their stars. In the end, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamon may never be able to repair their images. They may never be able to return to the way things were before Cameron dropped that bombshell. The consequences will be felt for years to come. Dismantled Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamon's lives completely. And while the legal battles are still going on, the damage to their reputations has already been done. Will this be the last nail in the coffin for this once powerful couple, or will they manage to escape the wreckage of their own making? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, they will never be the same again. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamon have been completely exposed, and the fallout from this scandal is just getting worse. The legal battles, the public backlash, and their financial collapse are all happening more quickly than anyone could have anticipated. But the thing is that we don't know how far this goes. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments section below because, trust me, this isn't just their story, it's everyone's story. The truth is out there and we're just getting started. Don't forget to hit the bell and like this video for more exclusive exposes so you don't miss any of the juicy details we've got coming up next. Secrets are hiding in the shadows. What other celebrities might be involved? This story is far from over, and trust me, we're going to be right here to break it all down for you. It's nowhere else you'll see.